Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stats update for May 2019. You guys had a great month, and be looking forward to finding out what we accomplished this past month. It's been an interesting one. So let's get started. I'm just going to sneak over to take a look at the stats update. Now, keep in mind, this shows up at HomeVictoria.com under Market Update at the beginning of the month. So yesterday they released this report. It's a 28-page document, and I've kind of taken a look at it and summarized it for us, okay? So here are some of the highlights. Basically what we saw this May, 12.3% properties sold more than May of 2018, and we were up 21% over April. So we're starting out with stronger sales, a total of 848 properties sold. Sales of condominiums were up by 3% from May of 2018, and we were up from April by 20%. Sales of single-family homes were up almost 10% from May of 2018. So that's the number of sales, not necessarily the sale prices. And so we're basically seeing that consumers are being impacted by these the mortgage stress test. So the prices remain strong in the lower price ranges, however, with little change in our benchmark price when we compare it to last year. We have over 3,000 listings active as of the end of May, and that's a 10% increase over April, and it's a 26% increase over May of 2018. So we've got a lot more inventory than last May by 26%. And our average benchmark, or the home price index benchmark value for single family dwellings in Victoria last year at this time was 886. And we've now seen a decrease this year by about almost 3% to 860, and but higher than last month at 843. And then when we look at the condominiums for May, the core 2018, we were sitting at 506. And then now this May, we're up by 2.6% to 519. And we're up from over April at 512. So here's a little excerpt I'm going to read directly. May sales have ranged from a high of 1289 in 2016 to a low of 441 in 1990. Which is the year we started our records, basically. So this month, with 848 sales, we're very close to a 10-year average for overall sales in May, which is about 813. So we're off from our 10-year average in May for active listings, which is about 3,800. We're down. We have 3,000. The lowest number we've tracked is from 2017, when May of that year saw 1,896. So we're not an all-time low. But anything desirable that's coming to the market, if it's appropriately priced, can sell quickly, and we're still seeing multiple offers in these situations. I even just had one last Tuesday. We had a couple of offers come in on a newly listed property. So it is still happening, and it took a few days for that to transpire, but it did eventually happen. So if the properties are properly priced and they're good value, we have competition. Now here's our benchmark performance over time. Let's just see, it hasn't changed much from what we saw last month, but basically this again here is showing us the trends. So it looks like single family dwelling this past month is kind of curled up, the townhouses curled down, condos curled up ever so slightly. Then we look at our sales to active listing ratio. This can help us determine where we sit in the type of market what we're in, what kind of market are we in, and we're just over 30%. So above the 20, there's upward pressure on pricing. It's more of a seller's market, but we're barely into that. It's a tricky market to navigate, as the report says. So then let's take a look then at some of these other numbers. So our units listed, this is our number for this year, 2019, and we are higher than any of the past, I guess, 5 years this year with respect to the number of units that we've listed. So that says more inventory. And then when we're looking at units sold, however, demand, a little bit of a different situation. We're down somewhere here lower of the pack. with just over 800 that have sold. So a lot more we sold, for instance, in 2016 and 17, 15. And then when we look at active listings at month end, we've got here 2,875. So again, it's kind of higher compared to these other years anyway, but not at our peak. And then when we look at our average sale price per unit, kind of near the top. We had higher average last year in this month though. And average days to sell, here we are here. So we are selling slower than in the past few years, but we're still selling faster than we were in 15. And then single family dwelling inventory is now, we've actually, for this particular month anyway, are at a, kind of an all-time high over this cycle. We're almost up to 3 months worth of inventory again for May. Everything else has been below. And then if we look at the townhome inventory, here we are here, May. And again, we're kind of replenishing our stock, looks like, because that was the only year that we had more inventory of townhomes. And condos, same idea, but we're still off a bit here. So we could do with some more inventory, basically, to help balance things out. So here's a look at South Oak Bay, what we saw this past month. We can run these numbers for any area that you live in. So if you have any questions about your neighborhood, let me know. But for instance, in this particular month, 58 properties were listed, 8 of them sold, 11 canceled. We still had 39 on the market at the end of the month, which is about almost 5 months worth of single family dwelling inventory in that marketplace, and a sale ratio of 14%. Average list price and so on and so forth, 48 days on market at $731 a square foot. Selling at 98% of what they're asking, essentially, maybe not the first price out of the gate, but where they were at the time that the offer came in. And they're on average at 107% of their tax value, essentially. And then we've got here just the historic average prices. Again, this is just as of December 2018, so it doesn't really take into account until the end of the year. This number will change, but here's how it looks for the single family dwellings. This is the history back to 1967, the trend over time. So I started in the business around here, 2006, 2005 in there. And I often hear at open houses, even then, back then, that I'm waiting for the prices to come down. And I still hear it to this day. It's kind of funny because these are the trends and they don't really trend downward necessarily, or at least not that we've seen really. There's a few dips here, but generally they're flatten out or kind of increase, it looks like there. And the condos, same idea, trending over time. Significant gains here from 18, 15, basically 16 and onwards. And then townhomes, same idea. All right, so if you have any questions for me, or you'd like me to take a look at a property for you, give me a call or reach out on the HomeVictoria.com website. And enjoy the rest of your month. Hope you have a good one. And we'll see you again next time.